Okay. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. So first of all, thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Our pleasure. Thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you. And the topic that I prepared a little bit today is a very general and broad topic, keeping in mind that we can have like lots and lots of discussion around this. I took the topic of Gurbani and happiness. So I took this topic because I'm a teacher by profession, and I deal with juniors, 16-year, 17-year-old kids. And a term that really comes up almost every day is, I'm sad, today is not a good day, I'm stressed, and sometimes it even goes to the extreme of, oh, I'm depressed. So I was like, okay, at this age we have all these terms coming up. I think it's really important for us to like actually get the meaning of what real happiness is, or what happiness is according to Gurbani, or how we can achieve that state of happiness which Gurbani has described. So while preparing the topic, sab to pehla I was thinking, what is happiness? You know, in like general terms, what is happiness? And I was actually sharing it with my mom last night, and I was like, Mom, what's happiness? And she was like, you know, khirkhirana, chehchahana, you know, when you're like happy and you're just smiling, you're beaming without any reason. When you get up on a weekend and you look at the time and it's like 9 o'clock and you have like nothing to do, and you just stretch your arms and like, yeah, I'm happy. I sometimes tell my husband when I get up on a weekend, I was like, I feel like a princess today because it's 9 o'clock and there are no responsibilities and I'm happy. So that's one way of defining happiness. But then the next question comes up, is that happiness forever? And then it's like, no, because when I have to get up at 6 o'clock, that happiness is gone. So that happiness at that time then is not sachi khushi. Okay, it was just defined by that moment of me being able to be in the bed for 3 hours more. Okay, so that's not sachi khushi. And if it's not sachi khushi, then what is it? It's chuti, right? It's chuti khushi, because such the opposite is chut. And it's not there forever, and it's not there always, aur wo badaldi rehndi hai depending upon my state of mind. And then I was thinking about how do we actually try to attain happiness. Or fir I was thinking कि जदों भी सानू कुछ खुशी लैन दी चाह हुंदी है, or we have this desire, then what we do is our actions go according to that. For example, if somebody cooked bangan, then I'm not happy. But if somebody ordered pizza, then I'm happy. So again, my khushi is being defined by what is cooked at home. And I take this example a lot of times कि एक बच्चा एक बारी स्कूलों वापस आंदा है. He comes home and he asks Mom, what's for lunch? And she's like, oh, we have, I don't know, karela, bangan, whatever. And he's like all sad. And then he's like, and then Mom's like, why are you sad? Because I don't like it. And then she's like, okay, what will make you happy? And he's like, oh, can we have pizza? Right? And then Mom orders pizza. And the kid is happy. Ki pizza aa gaya. As soon as he opens up the box, his sister comes, takes a slice of pizza, and runs away. And then he's sad again. So the question is, was pizza the happiness? And I think the answer would be no. The pizza was not the happiness. Because if pizza was defined as happiness, then even though his sister came and snatched the slice and ran away, he would have still been happy. So what was that state of mind is what Gurbani calls param. That we are living in a state of param, and we think that we are happy by having these materialistic things or whatever things that make us happy, but that is not the sachi khushi. Because as soon as that thing goes away, we are not happy. And again, happiness is a state that should be there forever. But Gurbani says as the avastha of Anand, right? Anand paya meri mai satguru mein paya, and then you're always in that state of vismad, and you're always in that state of kheda, and you're always in that state of vigas, nanak pakta sada vigas. You're always in the state of that sada vigas. But if you're not in that state of sada vigas, then whatever you were defining as being happiness was not happiness, was not sachi khushi. And then so these were like all the points that I was like thinking, and then I was just jotting them down. और फिर मैंने आ रहा है कि मन कदों खुश होता है. मन खुश होता है. I could figure out 3 things. रूप करके, when you lose weight, you're happy. When you build muscles, you're happy. When you look young, you're happy. When you dress up nice, you're happy. You dress up nice on days when you think you are happy. So all those things are like defining your happiness. Tan karke, with money, definitely we become happy. You get a bonus, you're happy. You get a raise, you're happy. You get promoted, you are happy. You get a new job which pays you 3 times more, you're happy. You buy a house, you're happy. So all these things are defining happiness. And then shobha karke, when somebody praises you, okay, even for trivial things, mom, you're the best, you're happy, right? You're my best friend, you make me happy. The boss praise karda hai job pe, when you get that shobha, you cook something and your husband praises you, this is the best noodles I've ever had. It makes you happy. So your happiness is actually dependent upon certain things. If those things are not there, then you're not happy. So it's not your state of mind, but it's a dependency. It's mohtaj giri. Sada man jehda hega, it's a mohtaj man, and it's only happy on certain conditions. It's like conditions apply. If all these things, if all these conditions are applied, then I'm happy. And then how does the man works? It watches what's going around you in the environment, and then I say, oh, you know what? Her dress is so pretty. It made me happy. I'll go to her and I'm gonna ask her, where did you buy this from again? And then I'll go to that place, I'll buy it, and I'll be happy. So vekhda hai, your man watches all these things that are going around you, and he thinks that, and then he thinks कि ऐस dress करके वो सुखी है, इस करके शायद मैं भी सुखी हो जाना. So he tries to like copy, and then वो नकल करता रहता है. And if you see that we are actually copying everybody around us, our man is so trained to copy things that we don't even know that we're actually copying our society, we're actually copying our environment without even knowing what we're copying. But we are just copying. Go ahead.
So I want to add a Gurbani line here. A man jaisa seve taisa ho.
Right.
Whatever it serves, whatever it copies and it becomes like that. A man jaisa seve taisa ho.
Yeah, so it copies all these things, और फिर उसकी सोच वैसी बनती रहती है. He creates his own maya. He creates his own daira. These things are making that person happy. If I get these things, it's gonna make me happy. So, the soch bandi rehndi hai, and then he tries to do these things. और खुश रहंदे फिर तरीके लभदा है, copying people. Copy करदा है. Not just in environment or not just in society. If we look at in dharmic world, उन्होंने अखंड पाठ कराया सी. They're so happy. I am gonna do the same thing. They go to Gurdwara at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's making them happy. Not that it's wrong. The copying intention is wrong. Karam kand jinne hunde ne sade घरां vich. All those karam kand that we do, nimbu march, right? One of the karam kands ki o kita si and they got happy, let's do that. Oh, on Sant Baba kol gaye si, they got a baby boy, let's just do that. So it's all those things that are around us, and then he makes his own shape, the one that I was saying, oh, apna ek आकार बना लेंदा है, and he tries to stick in that आकार.
What about the inspired carbon, like copy?
Well, I'll come to that. Ki, what should we actually copy? So this is just जो ररासा बिच असी करते हैं ना, सुन वड्डा आख्या सब कोई, कि असी सुन के वड्डा कह रहे हैं, केवट वड्डा ढीठा होए. It's good, but then the next step is you actually go and do it, not just copy it. So Sarah could, and then the man thinks that all this thing is cushy, and then he does it, and then something or the other happens, and then he comes back to that state of mind if he doesn't get that thing. So my next thing is, if this is all false happiness, then what is true happiness? And then again, because we learn from nature, because laws of nature is the will of God, because our entire Gurbani is according to hukam, and we learn hukam from nature, and that's why they say Gurbani is so scientifically aligned. So I was trying to learn from hukam, and I was like, I defined khushi first, when do we define we are khush, and we say when we are khide hoye, when our man is like khidya hoya. So when is a full khidya hoya in real world? Jado apne mool naal judya hoya, right? A flower only blooms when his roots are there. एक ट्री ताही ग्रो होंदा है, जिवें असी पहला भी गल कर रहे सी कि एक बीज अगर असी बोईए वो ताही ट्री बनदा है if he's getting the right nourishment और अपने मूल नाल जुड़िया होया है. The moment you take it off from the मूल, he's not happy, और मुरझा जाता है. कुर्बानी कहती है, मन तू जोत स्वरूप है, अपना मूल पहचान. Identify that मूल, where you're coming from, because that's going to give you a happiness that cannot be taken away, and that will be the happiness that will not be shaped by a set of conditions, that will actually be shaped by your state of mind, that will actually be shaped by Satgur di Mat, that will actually be shaped by true knowledge, true wisdom that we are trying to achieve. So asi kudrat to niyam sikhiye, and normal examples जिवे ऐसी पहला भी हुक्म सारे डिस्कस करे सी. So a couple of examples were coming up to my mind from daily life कि हुक्म ऐसी किथों सीखना है, and we shared this example the other day in a Gurdwara Sahib too. जब ऐसी रोटी बनाने आ, right? Now everything is in हुक्म. So the roti बनाने आ, we put it on the tawa. अगर ऐसी तवे ते छाड़ दे ये रोटी, what's gonna happen? रोटी सड़ जाएगी if you don't take it off. Why? Because it's following the hukam. Jad asi food khane a, if we eat a lot of spicy food because we like it, what's going to happen to you? You're going to get a heartburn, you're going to get acidity, because that's in hukam, because your stomach pH cannot tolerate that. That is hukam. Okay, when you eat something in excess, when you eat a lot of sugar and you've been doing it for years, there is a high chance that you will get diabetes, because that is in hukam. Your body cannot produce that much insulin to support for it. So all these things are in hukam. Our entire body is actually made in hukam, and we need to realize that we can only be happy if we stay in hukam. Jehde laws bane gaye country which lane driving, that if we take that as hukam, and if you're not following it, there are high chances that you'll actually meet with an accident, because you're not going in hukam. You're not following that discipline of life. So if you follow the Rabbi Niyam, and Japji Sahib chanda hai, hukmi hukam chalaye ra, Nanak viksay veparva, and then you become veparva instead of muhtaj. Earlier, whatever happiness was, it was all a dependency happiness. It was a muhtaji happiness, because it was shaped by all those things. But if you get free from there, if you break away all those things, and you're like, there is a Shabad by Kabir Sahib too, and
Beparwa, in that particular context, I think it's referring to Akal Purakh. वो अपना राह चला के अपने हुक्म बना के remains effulgent in its own nature, right? And so that particular line refers back to the hukmi, the one whose hukam is pervading in the world.
Yeah, but we have to follow it.
The corollary is that yes, if you live within the hukam, within the parameters of the hukam, yes, you will be partaking of that.
Yes. Yeah. So, Kabir Sahib da shabad aanda hai, in which he says, "Jab jaanya to man mane lok na patije to kya kije." And I find this shabad very, very, very inspiring for myself. That sometimes you really want to do stuff that you know is right, and then there is all this pressure that's coming back from har paso. It's like pressure, and you are like literally crushed. And then you're like, what to do? Like, sometime a very prevalent example would be when I was getting married. मैं एक बनाया हुआ ऐसी कि I am not gonna accept any gifts from anybody because I don't need them. It was just my thing that I don't need these gifts. I don't need the money. मैं gifts किसे तो accept नहीं करने. And we got it written on our wedding cards that please no shagans, because we will not be accepting any shagan. And then my parents were very supportive of me, but there was pressure coming from my mamas and tayas and chachas and dadas, and like it was like I was like crushed, and काफी लोग रुस भी गए, काफी लोग आके चले भी गए, you know, all that thing that happens in a wedding scenario. But the pankti that actually kept me going was na patije to kya kije. I mean, if Kabir Sahib is saying if the society cannot understand that you are actually in a state of vigas when you are doing this thing, then you really don't have to approve everything from the society. There are some things which just Gurbani clarifies, and people didn't approve of Guru Nanak because he was such a revolutionary. When they called him by names, that what is he doing? But that didn't stop him because he knew that whatever he was doing was right, and that later on brought happiness. And today I am very happy because everything that happened at that time, later on people actually came and said that that was a wedding that we would like to have for our kids. So I think it's hard to break away from that whatever akar we have given or whatever shape we have given, but once we actually cross those barriers and we actually follow the path of hukam and we actually follow the gurmat, according to me, life has become really easy. It becomes peaceful, it becomes anandit, because now I don't have to look back into my books, yunane mere vyah te kinne ditte si aur hun main kinne dene ne. So it simplifies things for me, because I didn't accept, I don't care about their expectations. My love for them would always be there. If I feel love for them, I would go give it. It's not ki I don't give gifts, but I don't wait for occasions. If I go to a store and I find, oh my God, this thing would look so pretty on my cousin, then I buy it and I give it to her. I don't keep it with me. Ki, next month, 3 months later, her birthday would come up and I'll give it to her at that time. My love is today, I'll give it to her today. Maybe 3 months later, I don't find anything, or, that feeling doesn't pop up. So I think that this happiness has actually made me very peaceful. It has simplified life for me and everybody else around me. So that's what I think. Ki, if you are like a Viparva and you're like fearless and you're not dependent, your man is not muhtaj, because jada muhtaj wala man hunda hai, when he's muhtaj, he becomes khudgarz because he's dependent upon so many things. So he becomes khudgarz, and all those. The other day we were doing the Shabad Bisar Gayi Sab Tat Parai Jab Te Saath Sangat Moh Pai, and we actually discussed ki muhtaj, it's jada visar gaya hai ya jada mainu bhul gaya hai, and now what that Saath Sangat is, which actually helped me get away from that jealousy, that sada or that burn is because I'm not muhtaj of it anymore. I am break free because Sat Sangat Menu Mil Gayi. So this is what I got, or what I kind of like gathered. So I think the floor is open for discussion, and if you want to discuss anything for happiness, true happiness, if you want to share your experience.
That challenge you and challenge this happiness that power today.
Again, I told you that there comes a lot of pressure from every.
Moving away from this example.
Okay.
Just what are the things that tend to challenge?
Okay. Again, as we discussed before, that our thoughts, we need to be very vigilant. So at times when you are not vigilant of your thoughts, or at times it comes that, you want that thing. The other day, Valentine's Day, I was like, you didn't give me anything, So those thoughts do come up there, but then it comes like, is a gift that important? And then I realized, and I actually posted up on Facebook too, that it's not just one day is a Valentine's Day for me. My last 3 years of marriage, every single day has been a Valentine's Day, because it had been so happy. So again, you divert away from it because you see so much happening around you, but then you have to like force yourself to come back and think what good is happening, and what your thoughts are, or what Gurbani tells you to believe in, and then you finally come back. So it's like a constant struggle.
Talking about Valentine's Day, we do realize that it's making hallmarks on the florist picture, right? That's the commercialization.
It is marketing and commercializing.
But it still felt very good when
of course.
a dozen roses that the Jew has left.
Yeah, you do feel good.
You do feel that joy.
You feel that joy.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with any of that.
Nothing wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, your happiness should not be like dependent upon it. Like I did.
It's still those little,
gestures, of course, that make you happy.
He doesn't need to do this, but still, that it felt good.
No, I was telling him, I was like, you didn't give me anything on Valentine's Day. Everything's 75% off now. You might want to think about it now, So, but yeah, if you are dependent that he did not give me roses, he doesn't love me, I do so much for him, and I've seen that happening in people, that they go from this state to this state because they did not get 12 roses.
Pressure.
So,
Unnecessary.
yeah, so again, your happiness should not be dependent upon it. Otherwise, giving, loving someone, it should be unconditional. It should not, I feel that love is such a beautiful feeling. And if you feel love for everybody that's around you, that should be unconditional. It should not be based on a rose or a ring or a card or somebody praising you.
Unconditional love is a very tough thing.
It is, but it's not impossible. You can try.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's the vigilance, and that's the constant effort.
Yeah.
It's way easier said than done. Way easier. Love is a tough thing.
It is a very tough
When
thing.
you are good, it's an evolution. It's getting out of it. It's a breaking of the bondage, and it's a process. It's a process.
My mom once told me to do this exercise. So there was this girl in my school I never liked, and whenever I used to come back home, I used to come, you know what, I didn't do this because she was bothering me, she was irritating me, she was frustrating me. So one weekend she tells me, she gives me a notepad, she gives me a pen, and she's like, write 10 things that you think are good in her, and you want to adopt those things. And believe it or not, while I was writing those things, I was actually crying. I was like, oh my God, I did not even realize that these things are in that girl, because I am so blindfolded by my frustrations. And after writing those 10 things down, the perspective just changed. And I do this exercise again and again now. Whenever there comes a challenge or a situation where I feel that I am hurt, I go back and I look at how things would have been without this person. And then it just changes the perspective, and I end up calling them and I tell them, you know, I'm sorry I was feeling this thing about you, and I love you. So.
And I've realized something about the power of thought. That sometimes when you don't say anything, but you just start thinking differently, thoughts are very, very powerful.
They are.
Very powerful. They change the energy. And the opposite of it is also true. If you don't like someone and you're just sugarcoating and you're just, you know, being fake.
Your body language says it all.
Body language, your thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, your thoughts have so much power and energy that we sometimes don't realize it. They can change the landscape.
They do.
This is always, just from what you said just now, your body language. There is an implication that the person who's observing, it also depends upon his capacity to observe, to interpret, and so
Definitely.
where you are. So how I see a person's body language would be very different from how you see.
Again, it depends upon your paradigm also. Like what paradigm are you focused on, or what wavelength you are like seeing.
Right. Earlier on we talked about watching the thoughts, each and every thought, and that's one of my favorite topics. I've been obsessed with this for a very, very long time. Also come to realize how baffling it can be, how cunning, how easy it is to trick ourselves.
Kaho Nanak bin apa chine, mite na param ki kai.
Exactly.
Without exploring and really stripping the layers of your own consciousness. You know, it's like the kai, like the algae, that you have to scrub it, and then you see your own true reflection in it. Because it's very easy to think that you are right and the other person is wrong.
And you justify it.
And you rationalize and justify. But when you really strip yourself naked and you face your own self in the mirror, you're able to realize what you've done wrong.
Right.
And the perspective shifts.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, and we justify our actions each and every second of our life. Starting from the morning till the time we sleep, we are literally justifying each and our action. That if we did not do this, then how would we tell this person that he's wrong? We have the authority to tell a person. Okay, if I didn't slap my child, how would my child learn? If I don't beat my child, how would my child learn? Or anything. We justify our actions every single moment of our life. And justifications are just excuses to kind of like run away from that thought. Because your thought actually knows whether you did it right or wrong. And sometimes, you know, your conscious tells you that what you did was wrong. And then you kind of like suppress that thought by justifying.
And if you do enough of those justifications, you are able to subdue and silence that feeling.
Exactly.
And that becomes it doesn't go away because it's part of that divine.
Mm-hmm.
But I think if you listen to it and make it stronger, it becomes the guru within.
Something happened with one of my friends, and I told her like what she was doing was actually not right, and she should rethink her action. And she was like giving me all kinds of like justifications. You don't know what I'm going through. I have to do this. You just can't imagine. And I was sharing the experience with my mom, and my mom, the wordings of my mom were, "बच्चे जेड़ी अपनी मन दी आवाज़ नहीं सुन सकते हो तेरी आवाज़ की सुनेंगे." Yeah. So that line was that phrase that my mom said was just so powerful to me, that if you cannot listen to your inner voice, then nobody can like.
Throwing pearls to swine.
Yeah.
No, but again, I think you have to keep qualifying this. The example of drinking came up, right?
Right.
So this reminded me of this joke I read. Drugs passing by, pass one bar, we are not going to drink today. And they pass another one, so no, we are not going to drink today. And by the time they pass in the third one, they say, hey, we've been good today, man, let's celebrate.
Yeah.
So at this time, they are listening to their voice, their inner voice,
Right.
what it is. and whatever conditioning, whatever sanskar, whatever impressions it has received. People growing in France and Italy, they think nothing of wine. There are people who get wine served in churches.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And
bread and wine.
So there's no guilt. That's how they've grown up. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But a 45-year-old Sikh, I won't say good Sikh, he meets a good enough doctor who tells him she's not drinking a glass of wine every day now. It's good for your cholesterol, blah. There's bound to be conflict. So there, something is happening that is not happening in that French manner. And whatever it is, like you talk about roop, you talk about money, and you talk about
Shobha, praise.
All of these are responses to this stimuli.
Yes.
Somebody said something, somebody did something, and our happiness depends not upon what they said or what they did or what we saw, but about how
we feel,
responded, how, and the thoughts that are arising, we oftentimes have no control over them, and it's only later that we look back, if at all, and see, like, this is how I was, this is what was happening inside of me when the person said this or that.
Praise and slander, they are both powerful, and they are both equally empty. Equally empty. One makes us feel so good, the other makes us feel so bad, but there comes a time when you realize, na ustad na ninda jaake. It's so empty, like it's so transitory, it's so meaningless.
They're meaningless, and they're so like in our system. Like I remember my cousin, he was like really young, or unusare family members was to see, so who do you like most, mom or dad? Right? And then mom and dad both were like this. Mom was like, he's gonna say my name, and dad was like, he's gonna say my name. And God forbid if he says dad name and mom's like, why, I don't love you? And if he says mom's name and then dad's like, ja fir tu maa ko li ja. So we are actually cultivating those seeds of praise in that 3 or 4 year old child.
I remember Kujot and I used to go this game. English going Thai or Thai. Then if she said Thai, then Thai would give her an extra candy.
I was listening to Kabirji yesterday, and वो कहते हैं कि मैं बोलो ना खुशी ना ना सुख क्योंकि सुख नाल दुख आएगा ही आएगा. So what do you have to say about that state of mind? What is that state of mind which doesn't, जो मांग ही नहीं रहे, ना खुशी मांग रहे ना सुख मांग रहे, क्योंकि कहते हैं कि नाल सुख या सुख हैगा तो दुख आएगा ही आएगा. That's the way. That's the way it is.
Yeah, so that's why if you go to Anand Sahib, the first line say, Anand paya meri maaye, Satguru mein paya. So ask for Satgur. That's what you really have to ask for. You have to ask for that knowledge. You have to ask for that wisdom. You have to ask for that wisdom so that I can actually follow those kudrat de niyam, or I can stay in these laws of nature. Because if you're staying in those laws of nature, then no khushi or no dukh will actually bother you. So that's what you have to like ask for. Like mangan nika, har jas gurde mangana. So
and dukh na bhyape, you know, it doesn't hurt you.
It doesn't.
It doesn't touch you.
It's a very nice shabad. Je sukh de de aradi dukh ki jagah je sukh de de raja dukh sukh banaye.
Very difficult. Very difficult. Very difficult.
Yeah, it's really hard to do it, but again, we have to like consciously try each and every moment of our life.
Always asking for that, and somehow the prayers that are perhaps the most potent are those where you just go and stand in gratitude.
Yeah.
But you know, we're children. You know, and even in Gurbani, the Bhagats have said, "Do sir mangu luna," and then this, and takiya aur talai, ghar ki gair changi, you know, what is it? Ghar ki gair changi.
Jantan na leve.
Jantan na
Leve
leve.
mangi.
And then another place, main nahi ki talabu.
But that ghar ki gihan.
Basic requirements, labo nahi karna.
Yeah.
No, but that ghar ki gihan, anytime it has come in Gurbani, it's actually your mat. That's your mat.
But he's also in that.
Those are like all metaphors. Yeah.
It's all contextual. In that instance, he is asking for a good wife because he's asking for material things. You know, he's asking for a comfortable bed, a comfortable pillow. He's asking for a bed that has 4 feet. You know, not just a rickety old charpai. And it's fine. It's okay. And I think those are examples. And it's all about evolution.
Yeah, it is.
You don't get up in the morning one day as a 15-year-old and ask for, you know, naam or, you know, unless you're just superbly blessed.
Exactly.
But it's after you've experienced the hollowness of a lot of material possessions and perhaps a lot of bonds that started out as sukh and then became dukh, you know, that you realize the emptiness of it and you turn to Vaheguruji. And that as Jessica and I were talking about, and that is how suffering ennobles. You know, it shatters the bonds and takes you to another level. That's how betrayals and wounds, when they heal, they actually elevate you.
But sometimes I think it's also like we were talking about the values that are given. Like for me, I never went through any betrayal or anything. It was just because it was so prevalent in my family that it became a part of my life.
Everybody goes through betrayal. It's a matter of time.
Okay.
And it's how you handle that.
Right.
Everybody's hurt. Because it's the flip side.
Yeah.
Of dukh and sukh and pyar and, you know, all of that.
Yeah, but
all of that, it comes.
It happens in life. That I'm not saying that it doesn't happen in life.
It's how you handle it.
Yeah.
It's either going to get you rooted and stuck in those eye for an eye, revenge and whatever.
That's why they say your attitude matters. It's not like what's happening to you, but how you handle that situation. That's what matters in life. Like, and that's what Gurbani says. Jira apna present samna hai. Like you have to decide that very moment. You should be so vigilant of your thoughts that when that actual thing is happening, you are like vigilant. Okay, this is what I have to do. So that's what the real goal is. Ki us mauke nu agar saam gaye, then you know.
And yet it slips.
Of course it does. Of course it does.
That's when the mistakes happen.
Yeah.
And then it's very difficult to retract.
Yeah.
And
So
that's when you have to become larger than the self and own the mistakes.
you have to.
Responsibility.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen. It's very hard to own mistakes. It's always the other person's fault.
That Waka Samna thing, somebody shared this incident with me ki ek baari banda swere uthda hai, like it was thand winter time, he gets up from the bed, ਤੇ ਉਹ ਥੱਲੇ ਜਦ ਕਰਦਾ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਮੀਨ ਠੰਡੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ and he couldn't find his chappal, right? So he gets up, ਪੈਰ ਥੱਲੇ ਰੱਖਦਾ and he feels this chill and he screams on his wife, ਮੇਰੀ ਜੁੱਤੀ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਹੈ? And she goes back to her, goes back to him, I don't know, you kept it. And then because he was frustrated in the morning, he goes to office, and then he's frustrated in the office and he gets into a fight with his boss, and the boss fires him because he was not talking properly to him or whatever the case was. He comes back and he blames his wife for that, and his wife again, gets more upset. She packs her bag, she goes to her parents. So that thing actually resulted, it escalated, and it came to that instant that they were filing divorce. And the question, if you go back, galti kidi si ki jutti kithe hai? Like if you really go back and look ki what actually instigated everything or what actually triggered that divorce was meri jutti kithe hai. So if he would have been watching his thoughts and be vigilant at that time, or agar wo mauke nu saam janda us time, it wasn't such a big deal. He could have just, it's okay. You couldn't find the thing at a place. And if you look back into our lives, most arguments that we have are actually on these trivial matters. Like, it's not a big thing. It's never a big thing. It is these trivial things. Sabji ch namak cut hai, sabji garam nahi si.
All the examples
Not just Indian, it's everywhere.
Listening to it, it's like, I have to watch everything I do every moment. You can never do that all the time and always be right. But the thing you can do is a more constant transformation of yourself.
Yes.
Through Gurbani, through Naam Simran, and being aware of these things. these things will just happen after a while. You
They
can't
will.
consciously go about thinking everything, I'm doing the right thing at this moment, this moment, this moment.
And then you have to have that thing of forgiveness also. I mean, it's okay if it's not there, you know? Sometimes it's just like, it's fine. It's okay. It's not a big deal. It's just developing that attitude that it is really not a big deal. I don't know if you guys seen this movie. It was actually a documentary in which there was this OCD person. Lara Datta was an OCD person, and there was this guy, and they missed their flight. And Chalo Dilli, right there. If you haven't seen it, it's a beautiful movie, and it tells you so much. Like they both missed their flight, and the guy is like, "Isme kya badi baat ho gayi?" And then their taxi, whatever taxi they get, taxi kharab ho jandi hai, and he's like, "Isme kya badi baat ho gayi?" And then they have to sleep one night at a dhaba. And he's like, "Isme kya badi baat ho gayi?" And then they go somewhere, uthe curfew ho janda hai, and he's like, "Isme kya badi baat ho gayi?" And because Lara Datta was like an OCD person, she's like, "What the hell this guy's talking about? Like, these are big deals." And then finally, when she goes to his place, he see that his wife has actually been in coma for the last 2 years. So for him, these things were just trivial matters. And when she actually goes back and she thinks, she was like, yeah, these things, it wasn't such a big deal that I missed my flight and then I couldn't travel in first class and I had to like compromise for an economy class. But because the conditioning was done in such a way, because her happiness was like dependent upon all those things, she couldn't get out of it. But the moment she broke those barriers, those little things were actually not a big deal. They were okay. It's part of life. There are much bigger things that are happening to people around you that you actually need to get up and help those people in. It's fine if the food is not warm. There are a lot of kids who are actually not getting food. You should be grateful that you're getting food and you should have it.
No, I remember it happened a long time ago, and I may have shared it before. We were in Delhi. This was several years, I think at least 10 years ago. And it was a very cold day, and we were going to eat at a restaurant. And as we were going up there, there was this Sikh kid who was selling newspapers. Shoes. On a wintry, blistering day, he didn't have shoes. And I think Anand was wearing the shoes that light up. Mm-hmm. You know, kids have the shoes that when you walk, they have this light flashing. And he had just bought them before going to India. And while we were having our dinner, we kept thinking about that kid. And then we found him. We went looking for him, and we found him. And we offered to buy him shoes, or Anand offered to give him his shoes. And he didn't accept that, because he said that he has other siblings who don't have shoes, and his father has polio and he cannot even walk.
Wow.
And this kid, 10, 11 years old, said that I'm so grateful I have a healthy body, and I've never had shoes and I don't need shoes. So it's again perspective. We were just so taken aback. And I said, okay, can you take some money? And he says, no, I'm not a beggar. I'm like, is there any way I can help you? He says, buy my newspapers. I don't have to stand here the whole night. So he gave me his entire thabba of, I don't know, 100 or whatever newspapers, and I gave him the money and he went skipping away.
Yeah, so
I think a very important aspect of being happy is to find reasons for being happy.
yes.
To be grateful.
Yes.
You know, we usually find things why we should be unhappy.
And
Right.
But there are so many things we take for granted all the time that we should be happy for. So it's counting your blessings, it's being awareness that, and remembering that this is a lot of hukam is recognizing
Right.
that God is being so benevolent to us all the time, and to celebrate that all the time. I think that's a big
Yeah.
part of it.
That's what that's
Recognize that glass is always half full.
yes.
But it is there.
It is there. You have a glass.
We always have that.
You know, you have a glass. Isn't that being grateful?
Child, that he was so grateful for having a good, healthy body, because he saw his father ridden with polio.
Right.
And he couldn't care less he didn't have shoes. That was our worry.
You know, what you just said about being grateful. You know, sometimes like when the gardener doesn't show up and it's in the fall when the trees, the
they look
leaves
so
have really
beautiful.
shed, and there's a pile that's like 2 feet high, and that's the time the gardener doesn't show up. And so
But all the
who's
time,
gonna
if he
do
had
it?
shown up, we won't even have noticed that. So if he doesn't show up, then we notice it.
Yes.
But they look so beautiful.
So every time I go and I bend down and I pick up the leaves and I put them in the garbage, I say, thank you, Babaji, for giving me this body that I am able to bend, that I am able to hold them. And I, like, with every time I do it, initially it's like you want to curse the gardener, right, for not showing up. But then when you realize that I can do it myself, and I don't have to do it every time, and I have this capable body of doing it, I actually thank Babaji every time.
But they also look so beautiful. The golden leaves.
Yeah.
For a little while.
When Gurbani says hukam nahi hai, hukam pe gaye chalna, people think of hukam bhana, we think of only when something goes wrong.
Goes wrong.
But all the time, I think we're good and recognizing that's hukam. And celebrating it all the time, I think is a more important
Gratitude is-
aspect of
The
it.
gratitude is very important, and I think that's what the crux of happiness
That
is.
it. Being grateful for what
Yeah, be grateful for what you have and what you can enjoy, and enjoy with whatever you have. Like, celebrate each and every moment of your life because you have that moment. That's something to be grateful for.
I think somebody like that boy with those values and that strength of character
Unbelievable.
is
10, 11-year-old kid.
probably well equipped to face most challenges in life.
Yes.
But other than, I heard somebody say the other day, he says, I no longer have bad days, I have bad moments. And that's a very good example. They're Juppi with them.
Right.
Though I can think of different scenarios. I think a guy like him would find a wife probably in this part of the world. But recently there was somebody posted one of these wimp videos, I think, about what they did was they took the problems, quote unquote problems that we have in the West and made people in, I think, 10 third world countries read those problems.
Yes.
Did you see those? They sounded so ridiculous, so horrible. It was an eye-opener. Really.
What was some of the problems?
Which, like, the problem with my latte was cold, or or the guy didn't make it, or something. And here's a child who hasn't eaten for days in somewhere in Africa, and they made him read that, and it was like
Wow.
talk about perspective.
Wow.
It really-
My latte was cold.
something
Yeah.
like
No,
things like that.
that's a great example.
And you see them in that setting,
Yes.
and they are reading those. And it takes a moment before you realize what's happening here, and then you realize these are not problems.
And also, when your perspective changes, you actually laugh at yourself. Like, till tomorrow you were upset about this thing, like, really? And so again, it's all about evolution, and it's all about changing perspective. So I guess I'm gonna end here. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.